some of the events that you'd like to see happen. And if you're not a camp member, please become one.
So I know that we have people who are still joining, and but for everybody's time, I want to go ahead and get started because I am so excited to bring our speaker today. I've been talking with Ginger about this topic for quite some time. Ginger Bell is an 8-time best selling author, Emmy and Telly award-winning producer, speaker, and marketing specialist. She has over 20 years experience developing mortgage training programs. She is the founder and CEO of EduMarketing, a media production agency that provides educational marketing services to the mortgage industry. And I have to say, once I became on the board of directors or became a part of leadership with camp, Ginger Bell was probably one of the very first people that I met at my first conference as a camp leader. She's been a great friend, a great connection, and she is so knowledgeable that I am just so excited for her to present AI and tell us what we can do with it. So, Ginger Bell.
Well, thank you, Michelle and Christina, and thank you for your service. You know, one of the things that is so important in our industry is to be able to, number one, be part of your association, both on a state and a local level. And so if you're not a member of camp, become a member of camp, because there's so many things that associations do for you, including education, but also lobbying, legislation, all of those things, and networking and being able to meet people. So I'm excited to share the information today, and I thank you for the opportunity. So I'm going to actually pop off of my video, and I want to make sure, first of all, everyone can see my screen. So that's the most important thing. Also, if you do have questions, 2 places that you can ask questions today. One is in the Q&A box, and one is in the chat box. And if you can just type in there, let me know where you're calling in from right now. That way I know that, first of all, you can hear me. And second of all, you know how to ask questions. So just type into the Q&A box or into the chat box and let me know where you're calling in from today. And then ladies, if we want to pop off of the video, and that way, hopefully you can just see our screen. Can you guys see the screen okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So today we're here to talk about AI. Before we do, I want to ask a question. How many of you remember back in the day when Burger King started taking credit
All right,
cards?
let me see. What will it be?
We're here to go.
Uh,
Would you like ketchup on that?
well,
Large or small fry?
Cash or credit?
What?
the home of the Whopper is offering cash or credit.
I think it's pretty bad if you have to use a credit card when you go to a fast food restaurant for something as little as $3.10.
If I use my GM card, I get a 5% rebate. If I eat here long enough, I'll be able to buy a pickup truck.
Burger King bosses say workers won't have to figure out how much change the customer gets back.
I just hope it doesn't slow things down at the cash and carry, that people are going to be having to call New York and get the confirmation or, you know, whatever it is, because when I want a Whopper, I want it now.
Just another way to spend money. I'm sure it'll work for people on vacation when they don't have to do something, but I can't imagine it working on a day-to-day basis here.
So far, the smallest credit has been for $2.50, the largest just over 10. Jamie Costello, News Channel 2.
How crazy is that? How many of you remember that? That was in 1993. And so not that long ago, just over 30 years ago. But what I loved is he said, I don't see this taking off. And you think about today, how many places do you use your credit card or your debit card or your Apple Pay? How often we use that? And that was in a short period of time. Well, when you think about that, that's where we're at today with AI, exactly the same spot. So today I want to share with you the big picture on AI, We're going to talk about some of the key ways that you can use AI in your business, how you can leverage ChatGPT. We're going to get into writing effective prompts. And then I'm going to talk to you about the power of GPTs, which is something that a lot of people aren't utilizing. I'm going to share with you how to do that. So I want to begin by asking a question, and you can type in the Q&A box or in the chat box. Number one, let me know, how excited are you for AI on a scale of 1 to 10? How excited are you about using AI? Tim, I'm seeing a 10 in here. And so that's, for me, I get messages every day. Michelle, Jorge, yes, we're all excited about it, right? My next question is, how serious are you about using AI in the future on a scale of 1 to 10? I mean, serious about learning it, serious about, learning the fundamentals of it, finding out how you can do that. And I'm assuming a lot of you are pretty high on this. I'm seeing 10s, some 5s, not really sure. And a lot of that has to do with how to use that. And then I want to know right now, how well are you utilizing or implementing AI in your business? And I'm not just talking about ChatGPT. There are currently over 8,000 plus and growing daily ways to use AI in your business. So how serious are you? So I'm seeing some serious, some very limited, some 2 to 3. So maybe kind of dabbling around with that. So today I'm going to share with you some ways that you can start using it easily in your business. So the question is AI really such a big deal? I mean, do we really need to pay that much attention to it? And the answer is yes. And so I'm going to share with you some of the whys. And most importantly, what I want to do is to be able to share how you can use it in your business. Now, we think about in our lifetime things that have had a huge impact on us. Microsoft, obviously, computers that we use today were made available by Microsoft, Apple, Google, which we use daily, Amazon. How much has that changed our business? And my gosh, during the pandemic, thank goodness. Airbnb, Uber, Facebook. I was just on my podcast yesterday and was talking about the very first time I had Ken Perry on my podcast, and he had told me he had rented a flat in New York where we were going to from this thing called Airbnb. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to stay at somebody's house? How safe is that? And all of these things and the impact that they have had on our business and our lives. And that's what we're talking about now with AI. Guys, in the history book, we're in the middle of the AI revolution. This will never, ever happen again. And, we're blessed within our lifetimes to have seen so many incremental changes between the internet, between all of the things that have happened with e-commerce, and now we're in the middle of the AI revolution. And so it really is to our advantage to learn, how can we become a part of this? How can we leverage that? And how can we, number one, learn it, accept it, adopt it, become a part of it, and then leverage it? The other thing we want to do is, how can we use this to be able to not just enhance our business, but also maybe create some relationships with our referral partners? I'm going to give you some ideas on that. So what has caused the recent boom? Well, you're probably here because of ChatGPT. And if you can type into the Q&A, type into the chat, let me know how many of you are on ChatGPT. And if you are you on the paid version or are you on the free version? And either is fine. That you can put in there. So good, I'm seeing chat. So some free, some paid, kind of a mixture right now. So some of the things I'm going to share with you today are on the paid version. So I'm going to share with you why it is definitely worth it to spend that $20 a month. So ChatGPT was launched in November of 2022. And if you look at the different businesses and the time it took them to reach 1 million users, what happened with ChatGPT was phenomenal, because ChatGPT, it set a record for the fastest growing user base. So it's estimated to have reached over 100 monthly active users in January of 2023. That was just 2 months after its launch. It made it the fastest growing consumer application in history. And you look at comparison, TikTok, which we may not have in the United States, about 9 months after its global launch, it reached 100 million users. And it took Instagram 2.5 years. And so this is a huge, huge thing to pay attention to because there's a lot of people that are using it. And really, ChatGPT, it's just the tip of the iceberg. What it did is it created an opportunity for a lot of other companies to use the same technology and to build their technology off of it. So when we're looking at something like this, it's not just a matter of, hey, this is what Ginger is saying, but what are the experts saying?
If you are not using AI tools every day of your life, you're making a huge mistake. You've got to start training. Whether you need it or not is irrelevant. You're gonna need it and you're gonna interact with it every day. So the faster you're good at it, remember when you met executives 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that still don't even use email and they have their like secretary print out the email, like when it felt so weird? That's how not using AI will feel.
And we all know Gary Vee, and I love him or not, I'm a huge fan. It's those things that people are saying that we need to pay attention to. So what are some of the areas you can use AI in your business? You can use it for lead generation. You can use it for your email marketing. You can use it for social media posts, for videos, for viral content, for SEO, for blogs. You can create 6 months of content. I'm working with a loan originator in Colorado. We're writing an entire book on reverse mortgage, and we're using AI to do it. You can do your Instagram reels. You can create an AI content team, an AI sales team. You can do sales team audits. It can create custom proposals, and it does an amazing job at that. You can also do customer follow-up. You can also go in and look at analytics. And we've been playing around with this, taking data from different renters in certain areas and analyzing income, buying trends, any kind of information that you can get a hold of, you can feed into ChatGPT and it can give you analytics on it. You can also create websites and landing pages. You can do chats, customer support. It can help you set appointments. Also, you can have different AI assistants and assign GPTs or agents. There's so many things that you can do with it. Now, here's the pitfalls of AI. It's popular. Everyone can use it. So if you're not using it, you really need to get on board and use it. The other, it doesn't sound like you. So if you're especially if you're on the free version and you go and type something in and it may have words like however or nevertheless, and it's like, I don't talk that way. I'm going to show you how you can train it to speak in your voice. It also lacks your expertise. And again, those are the things, the more you customize it, then it better it gets at creating content that looks like the results that you want. It also can give false information. And that's one of the things in the reverse mortgage book that we're writing. It had put together information that it pulled from back in 2010. So even though you're getting information, you want to make sure that you are following up with that. So you want to be able to verify information, especially if you're looking at doing anything that has underwriting guidelines or scores or ratios or things like that. You want to make sure and check the facts. This matters obviously for us, especially in mortgage lending. So we need to make sure that we don't have any inaccurate information because of course it can be damaging and it can erode that trust. So we always want to make sure that even though we're getting information, we are verifying that information. You want to always double check the information, and you can ask now that ChatGPT is linked with Google, with Bard, you can have it give you where it got that information from, and it'll cite what source that it's coming from. So AI's role. So lots of different ways we can use it, lots of different tools. It can generate content. That's probably what you're using it for right now. It can answer emails. It can do automated tasks, but it doesn't replace your human expertise. And I know so many people are like, oh my gosh, AI is going to replace you. It's not. It's going to make your life more easier, more impactful. And if you use it correctly, you're going to be able to do some things that you maybe haven't been doing in your business in the past. So I'm going to start with using ChatGPT because that is where a lot of people start. And ChatGPT begins with what's called a prompt. And so you put a prompt into ChatGPT, which is basically just like asking someone or telling someone on your staff to do something. When you are writing a prompt, and I want you to think about when you're writing a prompt as if it's someone who works for you or who works with you that you're asking to do something. So when you're asking, you need to be specific. And so the more specific you are, then the better results you're going to get. The second thing is you can use step-by-step instructions. I'm going to go through some examples later on. And so you can take some complex prompts and you can actually break them into smaller parts. The other thing is let it know what is your desired format. And that's one of the things when we're writing this book. The first step of writing it, it didn't give a lot of information. And so we had to increase it, give us 3,000 words, give us 5,000 words, expand on this section. And so you need to let it know what format or what style you want for the answers. Ask for sources, and especially if it's giving you anything specific regarding underwriting guidelines or data, you can ask for those sources. Also, you want to limit the response length. And so whatever the size of the blog post or the response you're getting or the video, tell it how much you want, and then it'll give a response to that. The other thing is go back and refine your prompts. Find different phrasing. Experiment with it. I keep a list of prompts I have, honestly, and you guys are, so a couple of things I'm seeing somebody asked, are you getting a copy of this? This is being recorded. You'll get a copy of it. You're going to get a copy of my slide deck. And then I also have a handout that I'm giving you that has some prompts that you can use in your business. So you're getting those things. And I believe they're going to go out to everyone in an email. And then the final thing is what role or tone you want it to ask. How do you want it to act? Act as a marketing manager, act as a loan officer, act as a real estate agent, act as a financial planner. So being specific as far as what role you want it to act is very important. Now, there are several types of prompts you can do. There's a one-shot prompt where you just put one in. I'm going to give you some examples on that. There's two-shot prompts. There's dual prompts. There's also what we call prompt priming, where you set it up for more content. There's a tree of thought prompt, and then there's also multiple instructions for your prompt. So let's start off with the one-shot prompt. And in this example, this is just a simple one-shot prompt that you can put into ChatGPT. Write a social media post designed for first-time homebuyers that is engaging, informative, and visually appealing. So see, I'm telling it what I want. The content should focus on demystifying the home buying process, emphasizing the joy and pride of owning a home. It should highlight tips for securing a mortgage, understanding credit scores, and finding the right property. The tone should be optimistic and empowering, encouraging young families and professionals to take this step towards home ownership. Please include a call to action that invites them to a free webinar on home buying essentials, so you can use this to link up with other things that you're doing. And then the visuals should be warm and welcoming, resonating with the aspirations of new home buyers. So this is what we consider just a one-shot prompt, but it has a lot of detail. So we're giving instructions on what we want for the output. This is a two-shot prompt. And oftentimes this is what you're doing, especially if you're using the free version. You put the first shot in, create a social media post targeting first-time homebuyers. The goal is to educate and inspire confidence in the home buying process. The post should highlight key steps like mortgage pre-approval, searching for the right home, and the final purchase. The tone should be encouraging and supportive with a clear, concise message. Can you draft a sample post with this focus? And then what happens, chat will give you the feedback, and then you can refine it. And so that's the second shot. So this is a two-shot prompt. The second shot, you're refining it. And so you say, thank you for the draft. I'm always very polite to my chat because I tell you what, if someday AI is going to rule the world, I want to know it's nice that I'm nice to it. But you don't have to do that. It's just something I do. So now I'd like to refine the message to appeal more directly to young families and professionals. Please emphasize the financial benefits of homeownership, such as building equity and potential tax advantages. So now you can get into more detail. And again, this one, I want to include a call to action for a webinar that details these benefits, guides them through the financing options, and adjust the visual to something that conveys growth and stability. So these are things that you can put in a chat and then get feedback. And here's the thing, what you put this prompt in, you're going to get a different response every time. I put this prompt in, I'm going to get, so you're not all getting the same thing back. Now, this is what we call a dual prompt. So we're setting this up with 2 prompts at one time. So we're putting these 2 prompts into chat at one time. The first prompt is create a visual graphic for first-time homebuyers that educates them on the importance of credit scores in the home buying process. The graphic should explain how credit scores affect mortgage rates and loan approval in a clear and simple way. Include a visual element that illustrates this relationship, such as a graph or an infographic. Now, ChatGPT Plus is connected with Dolly. Dolly is what creates the graphics and the images. The other thing is in ChatGPT Plus, you get into the GPT store. So you can get into graphics like Canva, and then you can use that to create some more in-depth graphics. But in this prompt, we're setting up first one for the graphic. And second one is once you've created the visual graphic, write a social media post to use on Facebook along with the graphic. So instead of doing the one shot and then do another shot, or the 2 shot where you set one up and then you refine it, we're giving it both at one time. So we're setting everything up one at a time, and it's going to go and it's going to give us those 2 responses. And all we have to do is tell it one time. That's the dual prompt. The tree of thought prompt. And again, this is one of those things, the more you get in and the more you start using it, the more you're going to find ways that you're going to be able to implement it into your business. So when you think of a tree of thought prompt, you want to think of a tree. And it's the initial seed, which is the root of the tree. So for this example, the initial root is develop a social media campaign for first-time homebuyers. That's the base. The first branch, which is the expanding, is in the first post, focus on demystifying the mortgage pre-approval process. Provide a clear step-by-step guidance on what documents are needed, how credit scores impact the process, and why pre-approval is a crucial first step in home buying. The second branch, so we're going to set this up. It's going to give us multiple responses. For the second post, create content that illustrates the journey from renting to owning, highlight the emotional pride and financial benefits of homeownership, such as equity growth and potential tax deductions. The third branch, so we're setting this up. We don't want just one post. This is going to develop 3 different posts for us, all based on that first-time home buyer. The third branch is, in the third post, address common fears and misconceptions about the home buying process that may deter first-time homebuyers. Provide reassuring facts and motivational messages to encourage them to take the first step. And then the connecting branches, which brings all of it together, ensure that each post includes a consistent design theme and tone that aligns with our brand's message of trust and guidance. And then again, for this example, we're including a call to action that invites the readers to a webinar for more detailed information and personal assistance. So this is a way that you can, with just one prompt, have 3 different social media posts that all lead to a webinar that you're doing. And then the final outcome, the end goal is to create a cohesive series of posts that not only inform and educate, but also inspire confidence in first-time homebuyers, leading to increased engagement and signups for the webinar. And so rather than having to go in and do one and go in and do another and go and do another, you set up one post and now everything all ties together. So you have that same message, that same look, that same feel that all lead into that one. Another thing you can do is set up what's called multiple instruction prompts. And so for this example, what we're looking at is develop marketing content for a week. And this is an area, guys, that obviously I do a lot in marketing. That's my company. That's what we do. We do video production, podcast production, email marketing, and having one entire plan for the week or for the month is so important. And so this is a prompt that you can use to create marketing content for the week. And we set this prompt up just as it is. It says, I will give you the topic in the next prompt. Once you receive that topic, I want you to create the following content in the order I have listed. And then it goes on to say, I want you to include my licensing and contact information in all items except the video scripts. Here's the information, and you put your information in there. And then I want you to begin with the first item. And once I review the information you give me and I approve it, I will type in next. And you can proceed to creating content for the next item on the list. And then I give it the list. So these are multi-step instructions, and I'm telling it, hey, you can't move on to the next thing. I don't want everything at one time. I'm going to look at it, refine it, and then we can move on. So the first thing is video scripts. So I'm asking it to create 3 video scripts for the topic. And that's the whole idea. When you're thinking about the marketing, you should have a theme for the week. Makes it a lot easier. So let's say our theme for this week is first-time homebuyers. And I want it to include a catchy opening, include an introduction to me. The script should be informative and engaging and be easy to understand. I do not need any direction or narration in the script. If you don't add that, it tends to give you scenes and cut to a family running through the grass. And you don't need that. You just want the script to put into the teleprompter. So you need to tell it that. I only want what I will be reading in the teleprompter. Include a call to action at the end of the script. I want one script to be over 2 minutes. So remember, we want to tell it what we want, being specific about it, and have more educational information. I want the other 2 scripts to be shorter and meant for TikTok or Reels. So we're telling it we want 3 scripts. 1 we want longer, 2 we want shorter. Then once it does the video scripts, then we're saying, okay, now write the YouTube descriptions for these because we're going to put them onto YouTube. Create the YouTube descriptions for each of these videos. I want the descriptions to include a catchy headline and at least 500 words for a description. So again, I'm telling it the length that I want. I want it to include hashtags. The third thing is I want social media posts for the 3 videos. So we get the video scripts, we record the videos, we put them onto YouTube. Then we put them onto social media. So we need the social media posts for the 3 videos, and I want it to include a short, catchy headline. The fourth thing is we want social media posts for 2 graphics. So we're going to have 3 videos, but we also want 2 graphics. So it's going to give us 5 pieces of content for the week that's all based around first-time homebuyer or whatever you want to put in there. And so I want them different, but related to the topic. I only need the post information, and I want it to include a fun, short headline. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to ask it to write a blog post. If you guys don't have a blog, start a blog. This is very important. It's another way to reach people because social media is a captive audience. YouTube and your website and your blogs, that's an open audience. Google #1 search engine, YouTube is #2 search engine. So you should be having both of those. And it will write, again, along the same topic, whatever word you put in. I put a 500-word blog post on this week's topic for my website, and then one for LinkedIn. So you can put blog post on your website, blog post on your LinkedIn. Create a catchy headline, and be sure to include a call to action at the end. And then the final thing is email newsletter. So if you're doing a video, you want to leverage that video. My philosophy is do it once, leverage it multiple times. So you take the video, you put it on YouTube, you put it on social media, you put it onto a blog post, and then you send it out to your database in an email newsletter. And so I want it to write a newsletter that includes one of my videos, as well as information that relates to this week's topic. So we set this up as one weekly topic, and I'm going to show you how you can easily do this. The first thing you need to do, though, is create your voice guide. So one of the things, and let me know if you've had a challenge with this, if you've played around with ChatGPT and it's like, doesn't really sound like me. It's too general. I don't really like it. And the reason why is because you haven't trained it. So what you want to do is to train ChatGPT to write in your voice. And how you do that is you create a voice guide for ChatGPT. And what you do is you gather anything that you've written, articles, blog posts, training, essays, emails, everything that has, and it needs to be something that you have written. You can have your email correspondence, you can have scripts, social media posts, any kind of reports, forms, proposals. I've authored a ton of books, so I put my books in there. If you've done newsletters, client communications, and then your videos, any kind of videos that you've done, you can take the transcription from your videos and then you can upload those into ChatGPT. And this is what it looks like. So what you want to do is put in a ChatGPT, please compose a series tailored for my sales and marketing campaigns, mimicking my writing style to maintain consistency. I'll provide you with the transcripts to familiarize yourself with my preferred approach. And so then you upload the transcripts in there and it'll create an entire voice guide for you. And so you'll be able to use that. And there's honestly so many things that we can do. I mean, we could do probably, Michelle, an entire half day, maybe even a full day workshop just on ways to implement and use any AI in your business, because there's so many things you can do. And a lot of it begins with training it, because the better you get at training your GPT, then the better content you're going to get back. And once you get all of your information together, your transcripts and everything, you enter that in, and then you tell it, hey, I don't want you to produce anything. What I want you to do is I want you to create a guide, a transcript, and create my voice guide. And so you just wanted to analyze the transcripts. I did this with my content, and what it did is it made an entire voice guide for me. And it told me what style I write in, how I speak, that it's informational and educational with a sense of humor, which is true. And so it's a great thing that you can do. And all you have to do is just load it in there. Just load your transcripts, load your emails, and ask it to create a voice guide, and it'll do that. Here's an example of what that looks like. And so once you put that in there and put the request in there, then it's going to go and it's going to give you a response. And then it'll ask for that. And I'm going to show you, let's see what that looks like in the next one. So you're going to copy your transcripts and then you're going to paste your transcripts in, and then you're going to set up your custom GPT. So what I'm going to show you next, you need to be on the paid version of ChatGPT in order to do this. And what that looks like is this. So this is the paid version. This is an example that I've set up. And over on the left-hand side, you see where the GPTs are. So you click on Explore GPT, and it comes to the main area, which is the public GPTs. And what you want to click on is My GPTs. And so under My GPTs, you can set up as many GPTs as you want. We have GPTs for all of our clients. They have different instructions on what they need to do. You can have one for marketing. You can have one for email. You can have one for customer complaints. You can have one for new application. I mean, there's so many things you can do. Once you get in there, this is what the back end of the GPT looks like. And so what we've done here under instructions is you can set it up to where you instruct chat on exactly what you want. And then you also input all of your information in there, your NMLS information, all of your social media links. If you have a podcast, what your podcast is, all of your hashtags, all of this information you put into your instructions on your GPT. And then what you do is, we talked about making the voice guide. Under knowledge, you can upload 20 different files that become a part of what ChatGPT pulls from. So we have some of our GPTs that we have honestly uploaded the VA handbook. You can put FHA guidelines in here. You can put your company guidelines in there. We put a writing style, your writing style you can put in there. And then we set up our own prompts. And the prompts are set up to where all you have to do is click the prompt. This prompt we're doing is for a real estate agent. So you could do this for your real estate agents. The prompt says, hey, write a social media post for an open house. And so the next prompt it gives back is, hey, give me the information. And all you have to do is copy this, paste it in the next page of the prompt, fill in the information of your real estate agent, the company name, their contact information, the property address, and then you can put in the property link, when the open house is and the time, and that's all you need to fill out. And because we set this prompt up the way we did when we set up the GPT, it automatically has information loaded into it that it's going to automatically create this. And so this is a really cool prompt for you to use to be able to share with your real estate agent, since it's if somebody has a listing or an open house, you can say, hey, I'd love to be able to create a social media post for you. You can also upload pictures of the different open house, and it'll create a graphic for that, which is what it did. Okay, so I am seeing a couple questions. Michelle's asking, is there a separate section in ChatGPT that you have to train it, or is it created as you keep using the program? So the section that you can train it and create your own GPT is on the Plus version, and it's under the GPT section. And that's where you can set up your voice guide. So it's just setting up a prompt in order to do that. Honestly, there's so many things to learn with it. I mean, you can't even get into it in one session, but it is something like that. And the next question, does it analyze your style and give you information on your style compared to your other styles? So you can set up separate ones if you want to, but you really want to have one in your style. You can have one. So let's say, for example, you want to have a GPT that writes in the voice for a reverse mortgage product. So that style might be different. So you may set up a GPT that's for reverse mortgage. You may set up a GPT that's for your veterans. You can set up a GPT for first-time homebuyers. So they're going to write in that style, and you can set that up that way. Okay, so next example I'm going to show you here. So when we set up the GPT, we set up prompts, and this goes into what I showed you as far as the advanced prompting. And so this prompt I've set up to do social media. And so I want it to develop marketing content for the week. I want it to act like a loan officer and create compelling, eye-catching Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn posts. The post should include, and then I put the information in there, and then I put the rules in there. Now, I set this up under my GPT, so all I have to do is just hit enter, and it's going to give me the same information, my licensing information every single time. So you see, I didn't have to type any of that in there. It's already in there because I set up that GPT. And then I put it into that. Those are the things where we have a multi-tier. So I said, okay, the first thing I want you to do, I want you to write my social media. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to make the graphics. So all I have to do in the prompt is type in next, and it's going to move on to the next item. And then you can do this. This example is for video marketing. And so same thing, I put in, hey, I want you to do the topic for this week is down payment assistance for first-time homebuyers. I want the video to be under 1 minute. And so now it's like, great, it starts writing the script. And it's like, here's your script. It's under 1 minute. Are you ready for the next item? So you type in next. And the next thing I wanted to do is create that social media post. So I only gave it one topic, which was first-time homebuyers. It's written a script. Now it's writing my social media post. And because I set that GPT up underneath my GPTs and put all the instructions in, it has all of my contact information. It has all of my social media. It has my NMLS licensing information in there. It has all my hashtags. And that's what you want to do as far as the customization. If you take the time, do your voice guide, set up your GPTs with your custom instructions, and then set up a set of your 4 key prompts, then you can create content easily every single week, and you can set up different GPTs. So if you can set up a GPT that can respond to a customer inquiry where it has all of your licensing information in there. All you have to do is put in their name, just like I did with the real estate agent. And there's so many things you can do with this. And again, here it's creating that social media post. It has the website in there. We also, one of the things I've learned is you have to train it to write out the full website, so the full URL. And when you set that up in your instructions, then it will always do that. And then it's going through. So I had the video script, I have the social media post, I have the blog post. It all has to do with the same program. And again, it's just going through and it's adding in all of my information in there because I set up the instructions to have a call to action in it. It's going to have a call to action at the end. And then it's going to go through. And the final thing it's going to write is, it's going to create an image. I forgot I asked it to do that. So it's like, I want an image to go with my blog post. And this is all automatic from one prompt. And so that's the thing. I know we have limited time here and going through this. And it's definitely something, Michelle, I think that we can think about as we're moving forward into everything with AI is what all we can do as far as learning and leveraging, because it's not just what you can do, it's what everyone else can do as well. And
this is awesome information. And I think that we may need to have a second session on this. Is there-
There's probably about 20 million sessions we can have.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
there's so much. And here's the thing. Sometimes I think it's almost overwhelming. And I don't want you to be overwhelmed by it. I want you to start getting in and to play around with it. When it first came out in 2022, I started playing around with it and we've gotten really, really good at it now. In fact, I did a call with someone yesterday. He goes, how did you learn all this? It's like you just get in and you start playing around and we learn from each other. And so you look at this, I mean, honestly, it's just automatically going through and putting everything. This is the thing I love the most, Michelle, is when you set that GPT up correctly, it automatically has all of your licensing information. It's going to have all of your, if you put your disclaimers in there, your hashtags, it's going to have absolutely everything in there. There's so much you can do.
That's the thing that I love the most. But the question that I have on that is, and just so we're all clear, is that is on the paid version, only on the paid version that it does it, but does it do it on the free version as well?
$20.
$20, $20 a month, no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's
for
it's a
nothing
couple
here.
cups of coffee at Starbucks. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's really good. So a couple of questions. Leonard is
absolutely.
asking, when creating the images you showed with DALL-E. So yes, the images, when they have the spelling in there, it is not great on the spelling. And so usually, Leonard, I'll hop over. I will get a little more specific with it and say, do not include that. And it takes a little bit. DALL-E is still a little frustrating right now because you ask it to make a change and then it gives you a whole new image. But I can tell you the GPT, when you interface with Canva, works really well. And so you can actually layer GPTs. So if you go into ChatGPT, you can layer Canva and then you can layer your custom GPT. So there's ways that you can get around it and bring in another GPT in order to overcome that. Okay, so Michelle, I'm going to leave you with a couple of things and then we'll see if there's any more questions as well. So there are so many AI tools out there. I mean, there's ways that you can create pictures. It's called Aragon, and you upload 6 photos of yourself. And I did it, and I think it was maybe like $60. It gave me 100 photos back all with different outfits and different backgrounds. And it was all AI generated. Some are, okay, some are great. And so what I've done is I've created a directory. It's called AI Beehive. So if you go to AI Beehive, and you type in, it's just a search directory. We are adding different AI tools here all the time. And so you can type in this example I have, you type in video, and it gives you different AI tools. In video is one that I love. You can put in a prompt and it'll actually create a video for you. We did one the other day for Los Angeles. We have a client who's using the Los Angeles Down Payment Assistance Program, and we created a video within video on that. And so it gives direct links to the website so you can go and check out different services that are on there. If you're looking, whatever you're looking for. So if you're looking for maybe something for photo, it does that. There's Deep Brain, there's Aragon, whatever it is you're looking for, this is a good area. And we're adding things to it all the time. So it's a good place for you to go. This is the one I was telling you about, Aragon.ai, where you can go in and you can create a headshot. And it's absolutely amazing. It's funny because some of the outfits, it's like, that's a really cool outfit. I wish I had that outfit. I don't. So if you're looking for some updates on headshots, that's a good place to go. But if you're looking for a place to be able to find different AI tools, this is one. And I honestly started it because I had people asking, how can I take a video and turn it into a blog post? And how can it's like, okay, we need a directory for this. So you can go to aibeehive.com. And if you have or know of a different site that you're using, then it's easy. You can just add it to the AI Beehive or let the, whoever's developing it to do that. So that's one of the things that you can do is AI Beehive. And then we started AI Clubhouse. This is on Facebook. It's our Facebook group, AI Clubhouse. And we do a weekly podcast on every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. We live stream. Scott Shang, Steve Richmond, and myself. Frank Garay is now hopping on with us. Yesterday we had Ken Perry. He talked about what they're doing with AI in the Knowledge Coop. And so we're just having conversations about AI because there's so much. I mean, honestly, it's amazing what all's happening right now. It's not like a one and done. I mean, there's lots of different ways you can use AI in your business. So this is another way that you can use that. And then I started a daily email of prompts. So you can register for the daily. We just give a prompt example every day and a technology recommendation. So you can register at dailyaibuzz.com. It's free. We just send out a prompt to you every day and we kind of switch it up. So sometimes it's for loan officers, sometimes it's for real estate agents, sometimes it's financial planners, sometimes it's for business owners. But it's just different ideas of prompts that you can use in your business to be able to play around with. And then the final thing, because there is so much, Michelle, to learning ChatGPT, I wrote a ChatGPT mastery course. I've written it specifically for loan officers and real estate agents. So there's very in-depth understanding. There's advanced prompting. I have an entire section module on how to train ChatGPT with your voice, to how to do the GPT setup instructions. All of the things that we did today that I could not possibly cover in an hour, it's online. And so it's a complete, if you've never logged into ChatGPT, you can go through it. If you've logged in and played around, you can do advanced prompting, but it goes through everything you need to know about using ChatGPT in your business. And with the code chat, we take $100 off. And for a limited time, because I've had so many people say, I don't know how to set up my GPT. So for a limited time, when you get the course, we will get on a call with you and help you create your customized GPT. So we have a form you fill out. It has all of your information. And then we get on a call, get onto your ChatGPT with you, and we create your custom voice. So if you're interested in that, you can do that as well. And then we have, that's going to come as a follow-up. I have a ChatGPT prompt. This is for mortgage and real estate professionals. And so I have a lot of different prompts in there for social media, for emails, for cold calls, for marketing. And so that you're going to get as a follow-up link along with the copy of the presentation. So Michelle, I want to thank you for really inviting me on to start the conversation, because that's really where we're at, is just starting that conversation. And you're always so ahead of the curve of doing that. I remember back when we started with TRID, and how many different live workshops that we did throughout California. So this is along the same lines of opportunities to be able to not just learn how to educate, but really, if you want to dive in and get really good at this is something you could go out and you could teach to your real estate agents too. So it's one of those things, not just to use in your business, but to make it a part of your business, because it's not going away. It's just going to get bigger and bigger.
I love that. I really love this. If you could do me a favor, can you go ahead and throw that QR code back up? It was on your second to last slide, third to last slide, that one for everybody. So if anybody wants to sign up for it, they can. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the videos back on, Ginger, if you want to put your video back on. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And again, does anybody have any additional questions for Ginger? Because I have to tell you, this is amazing. I was taking notes, and I'm so glad that this is being recorded, because I will be going back to it again.
And that's
and
so
again.
much. I mean, it's like, it's funny because when I put this together, it's like, I want to give you guys enough power to, what can it do, but really getting into it, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot to it. So I don't want you to be intimidated by it. I want you to start playing around with it. And the best way is to learn it. I mean, if you want to become a master of something, you have to learn it and you have to get in there and use it. But it's so cool.
Okay, so I do have a question. So if we're talking about layering things, and I have the free version of ChatGPT, I have the free version of Canva, and I want to maybe figure out how can I put the two together, because that would be something that would be extremely helpful in my business. So if it's not just me, if we're going to start jumping into this and dabbling, and we want to start paying for the versions of it, what would you recommend would be the first version or the first thing that we should start paying for?
The ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Which is
because you can still make stuff in Canva without having it in chat. So that is
Okay.
what, and I don't know. I mean, I've been using Canvases for so long, I don't even know what the cost is on it. But when you think about how much time it's saving you, it's totally worth it.
And is there different websites for ChatGPT, or is it just the ChatGPT?
No, it's just ChatGPT. So it's open source. So if you just put in ChatGPT into Google, you will get ChatGPT.
Okay. It looks like there's a question. How long does it take to get through your course?
So I made the course, and for those of you who don't know me, so I've been developing course content for 20 years. Have written training on every mortgage regulation, every loan product. And for me, being able to have an online course needs to be something you can pop in and pop out. So the entire length of the course is probably about 10 and a half hours, but it's broken into small sections. So you can, and I've divided it so it's like, hey, I just want to do my voice guide. So you can go to the voice guide, follow those instructions, go make the voice guide. And then you can say, I want to learn about setting up my custom GPT. And then you can go through that and then go and set that up. And that was the whole thing when I got into this, Michelle. It's like, there's a lot to learn. It's like, what part of the elephant do you start with? Well, you start in sections and you kind of learn that section and you go from there. So you can do that. It's done in your time. There's no test and you don't have to, it's not a progressive course. So you don't have to start with one and go all the way through. So if you already logged in on the paid version on GPT and you're more advanced, then you're going to move on to our advanced prompting. And then in advanced prompting, I'm going to get into the tree of thought and those things that I went through. So that's what you're going to get into there.
And part of that training is also going to tell us the things that we should be asking for along
Yep.
those lines. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm constantly adding to it. As changes come up, we change it. And so we'll be adding additional things in there as well. And then join our AI Clubhouse because we have conversations there every single week. We record the podcast, so you can go to aiclubhouse.co and you look at our past recordings. We do a lot of this. We dive into a lot of this as well, as far as how to set up GPTs. What is a prompt? What is proper prompt crafting? How can you use it? Where can you use it? All of those things.
I love that. I've been dabbling with ChatGPT, doing things that I've been working on as well, not just for the business, but for association work, as well as some courses that I've been writing as well. So all of it, this is helpful, but having more of my personal voice is would make it all that
Oh,
much better.
that's such a game changer. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Shelley, we could set up GPTs based on all of those. Like you can set up a GPT for a course. You can set up a GPT for legislation. I mean, honestly, even the association, you can set up those different GPTs. Act like, you always want to think, call it the ATM method. So act like a loan officer, act like a real estate agent, act like a marketing manager, act like a financial planner, act like a legislator. So you want to, first of all, tell it how you want it to act. The second thing is you want to tell it what you want it to do. The better you get it directions, the better it's going to give you. And then what do you want for the message? What is that message going to look like? In some of the prompt examples I showed, it's like write a 500-word blog post. I want to know what I want. What's the message supposed to look like? And so it's that conversation. And then remember, when you start in one chat, it saves it, but you have to go back to that chat to continue the conversation. Like if you start one chat and then the next day you start another chat, it doesn't remember what you did the day before in the other chat. And so you have to think about that. It's kind of like each chat is like a person. Like if I have a conversation with you and Megan wasn't there, Megan's not going to know what we're talking about. And
Right.
so it's all of those things that are important. So the AI Clubhouse link is, if you just go to AI Mastery Center, they're all right there. So the AI Clubhouse link is there, the AI Beehive is there, the daily newsletter is there, everything. If you just go to AI Mastery Center, then you'll find the links to everything else. I made everything all link right there.
And the AI Clubhouse on Facebook is free, correct?
Yes, it's on Facebook.
Because I know I'm on your email string to remind me to go to it, and sometimes I can, and sometimes we have meetings at the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so yeah, so a lot of going back, but you made some bells ring when it says when you said act like a. This is really going to help with the act like a lobbyist and writing, talking, because we're getting ready to go to Sacramento for our legislative day, and we'll be there on April 10th. And this is going to help our GA chairs write our talking points for everything that we're working
Yeah,
on.
we should hop on a call because what we can do is we can set up custom GPs. And if there's certain legislation that you're looking at, what you can actually do is you can load that legislation into the Knowledge Center. And then we can create a custom GPT to act like a lobbyist. And then we can give it specific instructions on how we want it to respond. And then you give it that knowledge base and it's going to pull the information from there. It's going to give you your talking points and everything. I mean, you think about lobbying. I can remember going to DC with you and we had
Yes.
a lot of stuff we were lobbying on. And we all had to have talking points and every state was different. And so, yeah, I mean, there's so many things. That's the thing. That's why I say, I want you guys to run into this. I want you to really spend, if you just say, I'm going to spend a half an hour a day and I'm just going to either watch something, learn something, play something, do something, use something. It's that big. I mean, this is big. This is bigger than probably anything else we've ever seen. It's as big as the internet. This is a game changer. And
The thing of it is that we're all professionals in what we do, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step over you.
Oh, you're fine.
But we're all professionals in what we do, and we should all be learning every day.
Yeah.
We should all be learning something new and practicing or trying something different every day. That's what's going to make us a better loan officer.
Well, and the more you get into this, like I'm going to Dallas, Texas in April, and I have a client who wants me to come and do a workshop with him. And he called the local real estate office and said, "Hey, we'd like to do, it's a 3-hour workshop." And so, it's teaching realtors how to use it because they're just like you. So it's like, wow, you know what? It's not just what I can use in my business, but if I can become good at this and teach real estate agents how to do this, it's like, that's pretty darn cool. So, yeah, it's not just a matter of how you can use it in your business, but how can you leverage it in your business? How can you really use it to build? And like I said, this is what we did with TRID. Remember, we did the whole thing with TRID where it's like, go out and teach your real estate agents about TRID because they need to know about it too. Go out and teach your real estate agents, get good at it. This course I wrote, Michelle, so that you can become good enough to go out and teach somebody about it. And so it's written specifically for that because that's what I want. I don't want you to just become good at doing this. I want you to become good at teaching this.
Absolutely.
And I know it's not alone. I know that. But there's ways that we can tie it in. And when you're that resource with your referral partners, who do they look to?
Right. And because and the thing of it is this, you want to do something as a loan officer to set yourself apart from all the other loan officers.
Exactly.
Because how many loan officers are there in the state of California? I don't know, somewhere around 30 to 40,000 loan
Is there?
officers.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at the number of loan officers and then how many of checked, the coupon code Terry is chat, CHAT.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Go back. Chat.
yeah.
Yep. The code is chat.
And and if you're setting yourself apart from everybody else,
Yep.
that you're not just the person who is passing out the rate sheets or passing out the donuts for the tour meetings.
Yeah.
You are the person that's adding value to everybody.
Yeah. Michelle, I think that our chapters, I mean, it's a great way to grow camp, quite honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would like to have a call with you to talk about uh, what we can do with camp with this and really get this off the charts.
Yeah,
And
I'm so excited. And here's the thing. Um, we're in the mortgage industry and there's nothing sexy about mortgages. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, gosh, I really want a mortgage today. Where can I find one? So we got to find the sexy in mortgage. And, this kind of gives us that opportunity to have those conversations, especially with our referral partners, builders, financial planners, that brings a little bit of sexy and you can show them, hey, this is something you can share with your clients. Like, honestly, you want to talk to financial planners, say you do reverse mortgage, then show them how to put together campaign for them to send out an email to their database talking about reverse mortgages. And you put yourself in the middle of that. Carl White, who I know is a great friend of camp, always says, find a parade and put yourself at the front of it.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm really excited about this, and I think
Yay!
everybody else is too. So, with that, I really want to thank you for your time. If whoever's still on the call today, I just want to remind everybody that we have happy hour and hot topics at 5 o'clock. So make sure that you sign up for that link. And I think, Ginger, I think if you are available sometime, I think maybe you should, if you have an opportunity, we have happy hour and hot topics every other Thursday. Dale is our moderator for that. We would love to have you on as a guest for that as
Yeah.
well. It's a 1 hour and it's basically one-on-one talking about the different topics within the industry. So we'll chat about that offline as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's always good to see my friends at camp. And if there's anything I can do to help you too, please let me know. But yeah, let's hop on a call, Michelle, because we need to get the legislation and the lobby stuff. I can help you get that going.
Okay. And your website again is AIMasteryCenter.com.
Yep, AIMasteryCenter.com.
And the happy hour and hot topics is for everybody. You do not just have to be a camp member. It's for everybody. So with that, I thank you all. And
Thank you, Ginger. Thank you, Michelle.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have an awesome
Thank you, guys.
day. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Okay,
Same.
bye.
Bye-bye.